Line up on the outside right here. Just gonna work his way. This team out. Get them out. So this is something clearly they talking about real wars and stuff that's going on. They talking about all of these different messiahs. So they already have this. What I'm saying is, in this Judaic mind frame, at this specific point, they already have this in their mind. It's already there. It's their culture. This is the shit they making up because of the situations that they going through. No different than any culture around the world who make up their own shit, their own savior or whatever.
You talking over their head. You talking over their head. You talked over my head a long time, yo, about African American history out there. So if I wasn't getting you in trouble right now. It took the respect that you had, bro.
Yeah, you just ain't like that.
I wasn't like this. Calm down on my damn nerve. Y'all was mad at me because I was 300,000. And I just got mad at y'all because y'all was 1960.
Initial contact spot. A rare play kickoff return for a touchdown. 98 yards. One of the longest plays in the NFL this season. And the Texans might get just the jump spot.
Shalom, shalom. Akim, Akwatim. A little under the weather, but we're going to get this thing rolling. Y'all don't need to see my face today. I'm looking terrible, obviously, but we're going to go into the subject matter, title, what have you, for as long as we need to do. Show you some archaeology, show that Israelites did exist. A lot of people say they didn't exist. The Bible ain't real. And we'll show things that's been prophesied, things that prove the Israelites were in different areas all throughout time. So we're going to get this thing rolling in a very brief moment. Let me see. Let me pull this up. Yeah, like and share the live. Like and share the live, Bakusha. Bro, I'm already live, bro. I was at camp yesterday for 7 hours. I don't, I'm not feeling like that where I can't operate, but I've been sick for the last 3-4 days. It ain't nothing crazy. I appreciate it, brother. It ain't nothing serious. I'm at the crib on the computer, brother. I'm chilling. Yeah, just like and share the video. That's all. That's all you gotta do. We're gonna start in like 2 minutes. I'm just pulling up some articles and things like that. All right. Let me see. Perfect timing. Oh, that's what I want to pull up. Okay, give me one more second. I know I was getting something. You know. um, oh, here it is. Okay. We're going to get this thing rolling. Okay. Let's take this off. Share my screen. And thought us, Katrina. I seen that earlier, so like you. I'm gonna feel better. It ain't nothing major, you know. Where do I want to start? Let's see. Should I start modern time or work my way back? Well, let's just go to the list. We'll show you that first. Do y'all see this? First and foremost, I want to start off by giving call Allah Yahweh. Bashem Mashiach Yahweh Shai. It's all praise to Heavenly Father. Name His only begotten Son. Who we call Jesus Christ. This officer Ayasha Watt out of SICARII, North Cali, Bay Area. You know what I mean? Every Sunday we're gonna be doing this, so whoever is a church goer, you need to just cancel that out, sub that in for the truth of the Bible, the Israelites. You know what I mean? We had an epic debate dialogue yesterday with a black Catholic guy, which was just absurd to say the least. The amount of blasphemy and just self like pride and lack of accountability and just justification for sin that he was just spewing. And I think I posted on Facebook earlier, or was it last night? At the very end of the dialogue, right before we left, this is like I tell you, this is like a 4 hour debate. I was talking to this guy for 4 hours, and he did some type of weird little pose at the end. Even though I was looking at him for obviously the whole time, and he was talking kind of, kind of soft, but I was kind of whitewashed, whatever the case may be. And then all of a sudden, he did some weird little gesture, and I looked, and I was like, "Wait a minute, bro! Like, are you heterosexual?" He goes, "No." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Oh hell no! No wonder. Like, you believe in all type of madness." So I'm over here like, "Oh, this dude, it all explains this. It explains why you're bugged the hell out." And he said he converted to Catholicism. So that means he was a homosexual before he went to Catholic. So he didn't get touched. He didn't get molested in the church. But somehow, some way, I was trying to go down a line of questioning with him. I was like, wait a minute, like, have you ever had relations with a woman? He's like, no. I'm like, oh, whoa. And I was like, have you had relations with a man? He paused. Oh, I don't want to talk about that. Actually, no. First he said no. Then he was like, wait a minute, I don't want to. I don't want to talk about that. And I was like, all right, bros. He said he wasn't doing anything physically with men. He's just attracted to men. I was like, oh hell no. Nah. So it was just the blasphemous doctrine and the information, and that just closed the show. I was like, oh yeah, it's over. Like you have the pride of the white man's doctrine, and you along with that pride of the LGBTQ, all that type of madness. And I was like, all right, I've heard enough. you know, and a lot of brothers came up to me after camp, like they got that vibe from him a while ago, and I got the vibe from him too. But I didn't really think nothing of it until way later. But either way, dude's a double abomination. You know what I mean? And we talked about a lot of different things, and the thing that Chief went into a while back about the Pope giving credence to LGBT couples, and we didn't speak on that. He pulled up the article. He said he read the article, and I was like, "Damn, you read the article? It's a long article." I'm like, "You read that?" He's like, "Yeah." And he pointed out certain sections, and obviously he was trying to defend the Pope. I'm like, "Bro, you supposed to rebuke people like that?" He was like, "He did." I'm like, all right, well, show me that. And of course, he didn't show us. But fast forward in the conversation, I'm like, "Oh, that's why you were defending that stuff so much, because you think it's okay to go to church, Catholic church, mind you, and be attracted to men as long as you're not practicing it or physically, you know what I mean? Which is still madness. You know what I mean? Spiritual fornication at that point. And I was like, bro, you need to get with a woman. you know? But yeah, we're gonna start right now. Shalom, Paul. I ain't seen you in a while, but it's all good, brother. Um, anyways, this is the Wikipedia. All well, you see all the links connected to this. It means these are sources, you know what I mean? But let's start. List of inscriptions in biblical archaeology. Now, like I said, the title of this show is History and Archaeology of Israelites. There's plenty of archaeology that people are familiar with, but this is my channel. I want to refresh everybody. Like I said, we don't talk about this a lot, but we're gonna go into the archaeology things that I've discovered. My personal time. Obviously, I have books. I'm not gonna necessarily show my the books I have right now, because I definitely want to do more research on the information within the books. I don't want to just show you a couple pages and then leave you out to dry. But I do have a lot of books I'm still waiting to get caught up on and read, and I'm ordering a lot more books too, so I can have that information for y'all in the future. But we're gonna start here. 2280 BC, Cairo Museum, autobiography of Wayne is a tomb. Excuse me, the autobiography of Winnie is a tomb inscription of formation in Egypt, which is limited to Egyptian studies Winnie the Elder, or Uni, was a court official of the 6th dynasty of ancient Egypt. Now, if we know the Israelite history, in reference to what we teach here at the SICARII, even if there was people that taught the Exodus was a little bit further back, 22, what is this? 2280 BC is way too early for us to be around as a nation per se. But it does show in this significance that the records of earliest known Egyptian military campaigns in Sinai and Levant. So not necessarily about the Israelites, you know what I mean? It's just the Egyptians were conquesting certain areas. Obviously, the Levant is right there, you know what I mean? The Nile River, things like that. But these next couple is where we're going to start in reference to the timeline where we start coming around, you know what I mean? The second one isn't necessarily us either. Like I said, 1860 BC, we weren't around as a nation yet. But this is the main one, the Renepte Stele. Now, these timelines I don't agree with either. If you know what this is about, let's just click on this actually. You know, so the Renepte Stele, otherwise known as Israel Stele, Victory Stele, is an inscription by Meneptah, a pharaoh in Egypt who reigned from 1213 to 1203 BC, discovered by Flinders Petrie at Thebes in 1896, is now housed at the Egyptian Museum in Cairo. Now, this is the timeline where the Exodus was, which is what we teach. 19th dynasty, 1200 BC, around that time, circa, you know what I mean? And let me go back to the article, Wikipedia. The text is largely an account of Meneptah's victory over the ancient Libyans and their allies, but the last three of the 28 lines deal with a separate campaign in Canaan. Now we know Canaan. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Canaan is obviously where Israel was founded. We took over the land when we conquered the Canaanites, as you well know, or you should know. So it says, then part of Egypt's imperial possessions is sometimes referred to as Israel Stele because the majority of scholars translate a set of hieroglyphs in line 27 as Israel. Alternative translations have been advanced but are not widely accepted, so it's not a problem per se. But the main thing is the time frame, the reference to Israel. But like I said, if people don't accept this, fine. We're not here to argue with people for the most part. People have an issue with the breakdown of the meta nature, you know what I mean? We don't speak the language. We don't understand it for real. I know what's the guy's name? The powerful brother, Zion Lex. Zion Lex, he's an Old Testament only Israelite for the most part. That's coming around to believing in the Messiah for the most part. Or believe in the Messiah that we say, you know, but in reference to him, he actually studied the meta nature, and there's videos on it if you want to look into that. So I was watching a couple of those videos and debates versus some of the Kemet guys, and you know it gets bad for them as usual because they think they know the Bible, they think they know everything about Africa, and they don't. But like I said, this the reference point is the meta nature, and like I said, it has been somewhat deciphered by Black people because most of the time it's white people doing the study and thinking they have the breakdowns. And there's some proof to it, but we got to be able to decipher our own text, especially from quote unquote African culture all over. But let's keep going down the list of archaeological finds in reference to the Hebrew artifacts. This is, like I said, I'm just going down the line. Nothing to see. You can all look this up for yourselves. This is excuse me, Bubasite portal. 925 BC, Egyptian hieroglyphs as well. And this is more in reference to records records the conquest and military campaigns in 925 BC of Shoshanik of the 22nd dynasty, identified with the biblical Shishak towns. identified include Rapha, Megiddo, and Ajalon. So this is definitely in the Bible, and we're gonna read it in a second. Excuse me. Do I have that pulled up? Matter of fact, yeah, let me pull it up on Blue Letter. Let me see. Shishak. Where's it at? Let me see. Peppers, Brooklyn. No, that's not what I want. Excuse me. I can't see the chat. I'm just reading the chat as well. So like, oh yeah, we know J Dubs, Chief over there giving him hell. Like I said, the information is undeniable. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm gonna check that out a little bit later. Throw out a rapper all for the generous donation, brother. Yeah, about you much You know, it's all love, brother. Um, so like, yeah, excuse me, man. I'm trying to pull up this history because I believe this is in the Bible, or assuming that conquest and referencing is in the Bible. Can y'all see the screen still? Oh yeah, here. I'm on another screen trying to look it up, so I guess it's fine. Y'all can look at this for now. Excuse me. Is this what I want? Salakia. Yeah, because we know Megiddo is a location. We know Rafa is a location. And obviously, the 22nd dynasty is when we left. Obviously, what, 300 years after we left Egypt. And this was the time during King Solomon. If you understand the timeline, 1000 BC, 900 BC, King David to King Solomon, that was around their era. You know what I mean? That 100 years or so. Because most of our kings, or not necessarily most of our kings, but it says they both lived to at least 40 or so. So that's within this time frame of this recorded military conquest. You know what I mean? Let me just go to this actually, Salakia. I don't know why I was trying to look it up on this article itself. I just go to the actual link. Oh, wait. Where do I want to start? This is obviously Bubasite portal. Not like a literal, so we walk through and translate. And some people, some dumbass people at that try to say, oh, you can get from Grand Canyon to Africa. Like, all right, bro, like, stop. Not that type of portal. But anyways, I'm just going to start. Let's start here. In this wonderful palace, I observed the portals of most of the old pharaohs known for their great deeds, which I don't agree with, because they practice incest at that level. But whatever. You guys can watch Kim on Trial, and you'll be able to get that information where all the abominations of Egypt are discussed and why you should never follow that doctrine. J Dubs, I got black seed oil right next to me right now. Like I said, so I'm gonna take some in a second. Um, we see people fighting enemies, Mandul of Egypt, and returning in triumph to its homeland for the campaigns. Ramses Sesatrus also sent conquerors dragging the foot of the Theban triad, defeating 30 conquered nations, which I found, as it should be, in full. Luda Hamelech, the kingdom of Judah, are the Jews. This matches the commentary in 1 Kings 14, which recounts the successful arrival of Securis at Jerusalem, the identity that we have established between the Egyptian Shishak, the Set, what's his Chris of Manetho, which is a historian, Egyptian historian, and Shishak or Shishak of the Bible is confirmed in the most satisfactory manner. This is from Jean Francois Chamberlain. This is some translated English, assuming I believe French. But that's what I'm saying. It's in 1 Kings 14. That's what I was looking for. Oops, what the hell? That was weird. So this is a reference to uh, a biblical historicity. You know what I mean? But obviously, like I said, this is more towards, or excuse me, this is a an Egyptian reference. You know what I mean? In their language. What am I looking for? Oh yeah, right here, the biblical narrative. The biblical narrative recounts in the 5th year of King Rehoboam, because they had been available to the Lord, Shishak, king of Egypt, came to Jerusalem with 1,200 chariots, 60,000 horsemen, and the people were without number who came with him from Egypt, Libyans, Sukkim, and Ethiopians. So the Ethiopians have been our enemies. Don't let them tell you that these Ethiopians are Israelites. Obviously, Israelites are there, but those aren't our people. I know that's been a some type of staple and arguing point that some idiots have been coming on our pages and saying that. Uh, and it's just foolishness, you know what I mean? But they need to get someone act right and stop acting like these Ethiopians are our people. You know what I mean? But Tribe Issachar, Sergeant Yatab, Sergeant Shamar. I mean, Sergeant Yatab is chilling. He in Seattle. Sergeant Shamar, I'm pretty sure is cool, but I haven't talked to him in a while. He just still recovering from his heart transplant. Like I said, it's been a year or so, but it's still something they got to recover from for the rest of his life. But because I know Chief brought it up that the medication is expensive and things like that. So brothers just got to keep him in prayer. And, you know, if you want to send some support financially, like I said, I'm pretty sure you can reach out to Chief or Deacon and ask for the insight on his Cash App or whatever the case may be to assist him with his livelihood and his health. You know what I mean? Because you do got kids. You don't work right now, but and he got a couple different wives. You know what I mean? So he got a big family to assist, and he used to be the breadwinner, so he got to supplement his income somehow. You know what I mean? So just keep that in mind. And a lot of people's going through it as a nation, but if that's on your heart, like I said, you can help the brother out individually. Pray for him. You know, it's a support Scar San Diego channel, and like I said, go from there. But back to the information. So, like I said, this is in 1 Kings. Matter of fact, I'm trying to pull up the Bible as well, because, like I said, this is just an outline of what the narrative of the Bible says, obviously. So, and we gonna read it verbatim. You know what I mean? So, where was I at? Oh yeah, the filthy Ethiopians. And he took the fortified cities of Judah and came as far as Jerusalem. Then Shemaiah the prophet came to Rehoboam and to the princes of Judah who had gathered at Jerusalem because of Shishak, and said to them, "Thus saith Yahweh, you abandoned me, so I have abandoned you to the hand of Shishak, so you'll allow us to be conquered for the most part." Then the princes of Israel and the king humbled themselves and said, "Yahweh is righteous." When Yahweh saw that they humbled themselves, the word of Yahweh came to Shemaiah They have humbled themselves. I will not destroy them, but I will grant them some deliverance, and my wrath shall not be poured out on Jerusalem by the hand of Shishak. Nevertheless, they shall be servants to him, that they may know that my service and the service of the kingdoms of the countries. So Shishak, king of Egypt, came up against Jerusalem. He took away the treasures of the house of the Lord, which is in the temple, and the treasure of the king's house. He took away everything. He also took away the shields of gold that Solomon had made, and King Rehoboam made in their place shields of bronze, and committed them to the hands of the officers of the guard, who kept the door of the king's house. And as often as the king went into the house of the Lord, the guard came and carried them and brought them back to the guard room. And when he humbled himself, the wrath of Yahweh turned from him, so as to not make a complete destruction. Moreover, conditions were good in Judah. So let's get that account. Excuse me. Where it says it in here. Am I in 1 Kings 14? Salagia. I'm gonna pull it up on on the blue letter slot. You know. Oh yeah, I just seen that on my phone. Now I'm looking at my phone that I believe this is brother James Willis. J Dubs. Oh, that's J Dubs. Okay, I see. Slocky. The water for your cash app, brother. Al Deloach, the water for your cash app. Supported the ministry. Yahweh Shemel Shabrakatah. Definitely appreciate it. You know what I mean? And I'm actually about to put up um, Sergeant Shamar's cash app. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put that up in a second. And y'all can let me do that right now. Cause I know that brother needs it a lot more than me. Let me see. Man, I just heard some damn Christmas music. That's crazy. So I put Sergeant Shamar's cash app on the screen for any and all help and assistance for the brother. You know what I mean? And the Most High will be done. You know. So back to the information. What was I looking for? Oh yeah, the biblical account. Excuse me. Oh wait. um. Excuse me. Man. Shalom, Tanya. The brother was just asking about you actually, but I know you was supporting the SICARII Akim everywhere. You know. I think this is it. Actually, Shalaki. I just did the same thing I was doing this week. Shalak. This is what I wanted to get to. The Bible, 1 Kings 14 and 25. And it came to pass in the 5th year of King Rehoboam that Shishak, king of Egypt, came against Jerusalem. It's the same thing that the Wikipedia article was saying. And we'll go back to that in a short second. But like I said, it says the same thing. But like I said, this is tied to what's called the Bubasite portal found in Egypt. You know what I mean? So they have records of them trying to conquest Israel. And as you well know, in 1 Kings 14:25, it says that in the Bible, you know. And it took away the treasures of the house. Same thing it said in the article or the biblical narrative on the Wikipedia article, but we're going to the Bible, the source, you know what I mean? Because we wrote our records from our point of view. And that's pretty much how we can prove the Bible is authentic, you know what I mean? So like I said, let me go back to the Wikipedia reference. Bubasite portal. So this is, like I said, the Egyptian quote unquote artifact from their point of view. And as you well know, like I said, this is the depiction. It's an Egyptian hieroglyph showing this story reference. You know what I mean? And like I said, it goes all the way into our historicity. So let's go back and keep going. See what else they have on the list. This is still around the time we were in Egypt. So it's another record of this what happened in Canaan, not necessarily us per se. Excuse me. This is what obviously we can go to, referencing us as a nation of Israel. The Kirk monoliths, British Museum, 1861, 850 BC, Assyrian cuneiform. Now, if you read, like I said, this is what significance slot. The Salmanasar third monolith contains a description of the Battle of Qorar. At the end, this description contains the name Alabasilara, which is generally accepted to be reference of Ahab, king of Israel, although it is the only known reference to the term Israel in the Syrian and Babylonian records, a fact brought up by some scholars who dispute the proposed translation. But we know the Israelites were in Assyria. We know the Assyrians camped against the southern kingdom as well. And we're going to go there in a second, you know? So let's start. Yeah, let's go here. Let's click on it, actually. Salakia, now that I'm talking about it. So if you look to the right, obviously this is a stone. Created 852 BC, 879 BC. So this is after King David. If you read this description of the actual event or the what's detailed on the script, you know what I mean? The Syrian cuneiform. We're gonna get to the bottom of this. I'm gonna keep this up for a while. Oh yeah, the water Tanya for the $2 donation. Yabashima Sharpakata sister for your generous support and continued support. You've been holding it down on every channel, you know. The Kirk monoliths are two Assyrian stelae, like I said, 852 and 879 BC, that contain the description of the reigns of Ashurnasirpal II and his son Shalmaneser III. The monoliths were discovered in 1861 by British archaeologist John George Taylor, who was a British consul general stationed on the Ottoman Eyalet of Kursadan in a town called Kirk, which is now known as Yusuf in the district of Ismail in the province of whatever this is of Turkey. Both stelae were donated by Taylor to the British Museum in 1863. The Shalmaneser III monolith contains a description of the Battle of Qorar. At the end, this description contains the name. This is what I read already, King Ahab. And, excuse me, Although it's the only reference to Israel shared in Babylon records, we know, like I said, from our point of view, we were both locations uh, in captivity. Even though this is a reference to the southern kingdom, King Ahab, the southern kingdom king, um, he did try to come against him, and obviously that's when you read in 1 Kings 22, where the Most High wants him dead for his wickedness. So, of course, this is a little bit before that, because like I said, the Assyrians came against us, like I said, but excuse me, this is excuse me, where is it at? See, it's saying it's the southern kingdom, but King Ahab. I don't know why there's white man here. What the hell? I'm gonna go to the Bible. I'm just going to the Bible, man. First Kings. See, let me stop sharing because the Wikipedia is just, I don't know why it says that. We know he's the Southern Kingdom king, and I'm gonna prove it in a second. I'm just gonna read it right now. Uh, where is it at? Oh, the blue letter. Okay. First Kings 16 and 29. Okay, here it is. Okay. I'm just going to read the Bible real quick. In the 38th year of Asa, king of Judah, began Ahab, the son of Omri, to reign over Israel, and Ahab, the son of Omri, reigned over Israel and Samaria. So, oh, he was in Samaria. Wait a minute. Oh, okay, yeah, it was a joint because it was both southern, northern southern kingdom, Salakia. Um, and obviously, like I said, the Assyrians got sacked by the Assyrians. So yeah, that Wikipedia is right. I thought it was. Uh, I think I was getting confused with Asa, not Ahab. But anyways, y'all get the point. So like, yeah, let me go back to the Wikipedia. Let's go. I want to see what a biblical reference is. This thing is huge. That looks crazy. Anyways, wait a minute. What is this? Oh yeah, it talks about all his conquests here. Okay, so yeah, I just want to get to the Ahab of Israel. That's what I want. Excuse me. I'm gonna drink some tea in a little bit with y'all. Y'all over here having a whole conversation about tea, but it's all good. So let's start here. I just took some black seed oil, by the way. But anyways, uh, let's start. I guess this is the article. Okay, let me start. We can start with the Bible, but I want to read this first and then go to the Bible. The identification of Ahab Salar with Ahab of Israel was first proposed by Julius Soper in 1865. He dealt with the monolith. Should have wrote that the name Israel Sur-La'aj was unique among Assyrian inscriptions, as the usual Assyrian terms for northern kingdom of Israel were the land of Arbi or Samaria. This fact has been brought up by some scholars to dispute the prose translation. According to Shigeo Yamada, the designation of a state by two alternative names is not unusual in the inscription of Shalmaneser. So it's basically saying, even though the people are disagreeing with the translation, they're basically saying that it's differentiated enough because if they're recognizing somebody from Israel, they were only familiar with Samaria, which is a northern kingdom. You know what I mean? So, and that's why I was saying Ahab, the king of Samaria, was a northern kingdom king. Excuse me. I'm trying to find where Syria is. I think it's 17. Oh man. Excuse me, don't mind me. I'm gonna try to make this quick. Like I said, I still got a lot more to get into, obviously. Long story short, this is talking about the king of Israel. And just like I said, the bottom half of the inscription, because if they're talking about the Assyrian conquest, we know in 2nd Ezra 13, it talks about Shalmaneser conquest of the Israelites. So just the historicity of the Bible coincides with this particular information. So I don't know why these damn devils want to make it seem like they start talking about Ahab. You know what I mean? So I was trying to find where it talks about that in this article, but they don't go into it per se. Even though we know it's historicity of the Bible, they don't necessarily reference it because it's disputed. The name is disputed, you know what I mean? But let's go to what's not disputed, actually, because it should be on here. Not these two. Can y'all still see this? Okay, yeah. I want to look for the Lachish reliefs. Lachish reliefs. This is what I wanted. This is the Syrian relief. So from the Shalmaneser III relief to this one, it's the same time period, damn near. Because they came against Israel first, but they didn't conquer us. You know what I mean? Then the Lachish reliefs is when they actually conquered us, 700 BC. So let's go here first. I did skip a couple things, but I want to make a point because it's talking about Assyria. You know what I mean? So let's start here at the top. Are y'all still here? Y'all still rocking? Tony, don't be going to take a nap on my live. You can nap on Deacon's live. No, I'm joking. Back to the information. The Lachish reliefs are a set of Assyrian palace reliefs narrating the story of the Assyrian victory over the kingdom of Judah, even though that never happened. They didn't make King, excuse me, one of the kings bowed down. It should show it here, actually. I don't know if it shows it up close. Where's it at? That's the only picture they have? Okay, I'm going to go to another closer picture of the information. Hold on, let me see if this is it. See, yeah, this is it. Okay. Single inscription which identifies the location because of the race where SICARII, the mighty kings of the country of Assyria, sitting on a throne of judgment before or at the entrance of the city of Lachish. But that's not the inscription I was referring to. Does it show it here? Oh no, it's the same thing. Slovakia. Where's it at? You can tell I haven't read this particular article in a while, but it says yeah, Hezekiah, but Hezekiah didn't get conquered by Assyria, like I said. So the cities got taken out, but Israel was still in place. But let me just read it. It's not a problem. It's all about the Israelites either way. You know what I mean? From the narrative of the nations, which makes this is the point of this. The point of this whole live. Busy sheep. I suppose that you're here to scoff. The hair texture of the Assyrians and Israelites? Not necessarily. Let's just go there. This is. Can I zoom in right here? Oh, here it is. Yeah. This is the Assyrians, and obviously this is the Assyrians here. It doesn't really say this is us right here, even though if you look at the other, not this particular relief right here, but what the hell? I need to go back. What the hell just happened? Oh, okay. That was weird. Go to another sec. Well, it's like I said, I don't like these pictures because it doesn't show what I'm looking for. Because I want to show this actually, this particular portion right here, where it shows the difference between us. So yeah, these are the Israelites right here. We had beard and afro. Obviously, this is us, and these are the Assyrians behind us. So they did have beards. They just have the hats on. You know what I mean? It doesn't really show that they didn't have woolly hair, but they just wore their beards a little bit different. Like I said, we were in captivity. We were up keeping our shit like that, but not shit, but beards. You know what I mean? But they did have the longer, like straighter beards in that reference, if you want to say that. But I mean, you can't tell it's silkier though. You know what I mean? Native Americans do not all share common ancestry. I mean, that's common because there's hundreds of different Native American tribes, but they're all related. So I'm not sure what you say by ancestry. And I don't know why you're flooding the chat like this. I hope you simmer down a little bit. You know what I mean? So I'm here to talk about the information. All right. Well, I guess I'm going to have to time you out for a second since you don't want to stop typing a lot. So yeah, just simmer down. So I don't have to time you out. The Assyrians mixed more. I mean, that's whatever. We mixed a lot. So what does that have to do with anything? We don't hearken to DNA. So your Native American reference is irrelevant. We mix with everybody as well. So what's your point? So back to the article. Like really when talk about looks, like it don't matter what people look like anymore. Obviously in America we didn't have rules against mixing, and God does not love Assyrians. So what the hell are you talking about? See, now you got to go. Now you got to go in timeout because now you're bugging out. We had rules against mixing against the Canaanites. That's about it. Now, was it preferred not to mix with other nations? Of course. But did we mix with other nations in reference to having kids with them? Absolutely. All throughout time. And we're doing it right now. So are Israelites not being produced anymore? Of course they are. An Israelite man can have an Israelite kid with any nation. We don't prefer it, but it does happen. So what rules against mixing are you talking about? Because there's only 7 nations we're not allowed to mix with by law, which is the Canaanites. So keep that information to yourself. God does not love Assyrians. And I'm gonna actually prove that right now since you wanna yap at the mouth. Watch this. Watch me cut his ass. Since you wanna come in my chat talking reckless. Let's go to Isaiah 10. See how much God loves the Assyrians. This guy's crazy, man. Busy sheep. Nigga, you need to be more busy at reading the Bible and studying more. Talking that madness. Why the hell would Most High love Assyria? The people that took his people into captivity. Lost your damn mind? Anyways, let's go here. O Assyrian, the rod of mine anger, and the staff in their hand is my indignation. So the Most High is going to send the Assyrians against the Israelites as punishment. I will send him against a hypocritical nation, talking about us, and against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge to take the spoil and to take the prey and to tread them down like the mire of the streets. Howbeit, he meaneth not so, neither does his heart think so, but it is in his heart to destroy and cut off nations, not a few. Talking about the Assyrians, which is obviously what they did. We just had the article where they conquered a lot of nations, right? Based on archaeology. For he said, are not my princes altogether kings, the Israelites? Is not Kalno as Carchemish? Is not Hamath as Arpad? Is not Samaria as Damascus? As my hand have found the kingdoms of the idols, and whose graven images did excel them of Jerusalem and of Samaria, because we were idol worshiping, shall I not, as I have done unto Samaria and her idols, so do to Jerusalem and her idols? So both nations are going to be, or excuse me, both kingdoms are going to be punished, southern kingdom, northern kingdom. Wherefore it shall come to pass that when the Lord hath performed this whole work upon Mount Zion and on Jerusalem, I will punish the fruit of the stout heart of the king of Assyria and the glory of his looks. So he allows the Israelites to be punished by the Assyrians, but then he's going to turn around and punish the Assyrians. What are you talking about? What is wrong with this guy? Excuse me. And the glory of his high looks, he had pride for doing this to God's people. So guess what? Most High gonna double back on his ass and get him in a bind. Let's see where that's at. Let's go. Actually, what am I looking for? Oh yeah, Micah 5. Matter of fact, this is talking about America, but it does say Assyria. No, I'm gonna go somewhere else to like it. The OT only would say it's talking about the real Assyria, which is dumb, but whatever. We know for a fact Jeremiah 30 and 16. Matter of fact, let me just get that real quick. Jeremiah 30, 16. Very simple scripture. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. Is that love for the Assyrians? Is that love? Brian Guzman, we know this guy's a bum. He don't know the damn Bible, bro. Of course, we haven't heard of God loving the Assyrians. We'll never hear that. And let me go to another place, Isaiah 40. A lot of people say, oh, Second Ezra is not the Bible. All right. Isaiah 40 and 15. Behold, the nations are of a drop of a bucket and are as counted as a small dust in a balance. Behold, he taketh with the isles a very little thing. And Lebanon is not sufficient to burn, nor the beasts thereof sufficient for a burnt offering. All nations before him are as nothing. Is that love for the Assyrians? What's wrong with this guy, man? Typing all that stuff about the Native Americans and hair texture and all this other garbage. Like, what does that have to do with Most High loving the Assyrians? Like, I can understand what you're saying with different phenotypes or whatnot, or hairstyles. That's whatever. But what the hell does the Most High have to do with loving the Assyrians in that context? Like, what is wrong with this guy? Like, are you a Syrian nigga? Like, the hell? What's buddy name? Busy Sheep? Like, nigga, he's busy running your mouth about nonsense. What's wrong with this guy? Anyways, interrupt the lesson again. I'm gonna go back to the article. This guy lost his damn mind. Let's go back to the Lachish reliefs. I'm just going to read this. The events surrounding the conquest of Lachish are recorded in an unparalleled number of sources from the 8th century BCE in the Hebrew Bible, the Lachish series, Assyrian cuneiform prisms, and in the archaeological excavations at Lachish, Sennacherib's conquest of Judean cities without the capital, Jerusalem. So like I said, they didn't conquer Jerusalem, they conquered the outside cities, are mentioned in the Bible, the book of Kings, the book of Chronicles, and the book of Isaiah. So yeah, we already just read Isaiah where it said Syrians are going to conquer the Israelites. So later, this is a quotation from the Bible. Matter of fact, let me pull it up just to be sure, because Wikipedia, they're not the Bible. 2 Chronicles 32. I believe that's what it says here. Oh my God. I know you did not just go there. Busy Sheep. But let me read this real quick, because this guy's an idiot. Later, when Sennacherib, king of Assyria, and all his forces were laying siege to Lachish, he sent his officers to Jerusalem with a message for Hezekiah, king of Judah, and for all the people of Judah who were there. The next quotation: Now it came to pass in the 14th year of King Hezekiah that Sennacherib, king of Assyria, came against all the fortified cities of Judah and took them. Isaiah 36, 1 and 2. So, like I said, this is what it represents, the archaeology. But since this idiot wants to talk about Isaiah 19, he has no clue what he's talking about. No idea. No goddamn clue. Let's go here. Where am I at? Oh yeah, let me stop sharing. Let me go to the blue letter. Since this dumbass wants to talk about the Most High loves the Assyrians. Like, bro, what is wrong with you? Didn't we just read that the Most High was going to punish the Assyrians in Isaiah 10? So 9 chapters later, he loves them. Like, bro, you know how stupid you are? You don't know a damn thing, bro. Like, this is crazy. Like, come on, bro. Like, it's all symbolic. Of course it's symbolic, nigga. It's not talking about no goddamn Assyrian. Some of the Israelites. Bro. Let's start here. This is a future prophecy, sir. Let's start at 18. Because he wants to start at what is he talking about? Why did you post Isaiah 19, 23 to 25? Because you skipped you skipped the key point of the prophecy. Yeah, you're going to time out again. So just look forward to that, Busy Sheep, because you're scoffing. This nigga's bugged the hell out. And this is his second warning. Third time he's getting banned from my channel. Unless he sends me his bank account, That's the alternative. Send me what's in your bank account. You can continue typing in my chat. Because this dumbass shit ain't gonna be on my on this live for too much longer. It's like it for the language, by the way. But this is ridiculous. And I'm not feeling well. I don't have time for the nonsense. I'm trying to edify the people, get through some archaeology for the people. You know what I mean? I have some stuff that I probably haven't seen before. I haven't even got there yet. I'm trying to get through this list. But yeah, no, Tanya, he's trying to be funny, but I'm not having it. But I'm just gonna read this real quick to prove that it's talking about the Israelites in America. how it represents the captivities. That's all it's talking about. Because in Isaiah lived what 740 BC to 7th century, or 8th century to 7th century. And we know for a fact we weren't in captivity to anywhere other than Egypt and Assyria at this time, or during this particular timeline. So in that day shall 5 cities in the land of Egypt speak the language of Canaan. So why is it talking about 5 cities of the land of Egypt speak the language of Canaan? Like, what does that have to do with anything? And swear to the Lord of hosts. So how these two contrary lands with heathens are going to swear by the Most High, Yahweh? One should be called the city of destruction. In that day, there should be an altar to the Lord in the midst of the land of Egypt, because we know that didn't happen. But it's happening where? In America. Spiritual Egypt. And a pillar to the border thereof to the Lord. How do we know that? I'm going to get a precept in a second. In, excuse me, in, I believe it's in Zechariah. Yeah, Zechariah 5. And it shall be for a sign and for a witness unto the Lord of hosts in the land of Egypt, for they shall cry unto the Lord because of the oppressors. Wait a minute. When were Israelites in Egypt crying to the oppressors after we left in the Exodus? When do we ever go back to the land of Egypt and be oppressed? This is talking about America. And he shall send them a savior and a great one, and he shall deliver them. He already did this with Moses, first and foremost, if you want to call him a savior, which we do. And let me read the next verse. And the Lord shall be known to Egypt, and the Egyptians shall know the Lord in that day, and shall do sacrifice and oblation. We know that that'll never happen. They're not going to be able to be offering sacrifices to the Most High, literally Egyptians. It's talking about the Israelites. Yea, they shall vow a vow unto the Lord and perform it. So why the hell would the Egyptians, literal Egyptians, vow a vow to the Most High and perform it? It's not talking about no damn Egyptians, bro. It's talking about the Israelites. You know what I mean? And like I said, I'm going to prove it in a second. In that day, there should be a highway out of Egypt to Assyria. Why would that happen? Like, why would we go back to, let's just say it's not talking about Israelites. Because it started off by saying what? Let's go back. 5 cities in the land of Egypt shall speak the language of Canaan. So it's talking about Egyptians, quote unquote, according to the idiot that just typed this. But it says, in that day there shall be a highway out of Egypt to Assyria, and the Assyrians shall come into Egypt, and Egypt into the Syria, and the Egyptians shall serve with the Assyrians. In that day shall Israel be the third with Egypt and with Assyria, even a blessing in the midst of the land. Whom the Lord of hosts shall bless, saying, Blessed be Egypt, my people, and Assyria, the works of my hands, and Israel, mine inheritance. Ooh-wee. Why is it tied in Israel at the end? It didn't say anything about Israel the whole time. But this is how you know it's talking about the Israelites. Because when Isaiah was writing this, he prophesied about the Assyrians conquering the Israelites. And Egypt was our only other captivity before this was written. You know what I mean? As a nation, as both people, as both nations, quote unquote. You know what I mean? Because the Assyrians were only northern kingdom, but in Egypt we were both in captivity as the 12 tribes. But guess what? Those are the only 2 major captivities at that time. Now we can say in Judges we were captive to the Moabites and certain Japhites, whatever, but it was only for a short period of time. But these are the major captivities as far as the Assyrians are concerned, because they took us in 722, and under our estimation, by the time the Babylonians came, 583, Northern Kingdom was no longer there. So they were there for a while. You know what I mean? J-Dubs, he's an idiot. Don't worry about him. Sir, I don't need you typing to me, bro. Like, I don't need you trying to teach a damn thing in here. So you're going back in timeout, sir. Appreciate your thoughts, though. The Syria would be a righteous Arab world? Nigga, please. Ain't no damn righteous Arab world. What the hell's wrong with you? This dude's stupid as hell. Anyways, so let me go. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. My bad. So I'm gonna prove that the altar that's in Egypt is talking about the Israelites in America. Real quick, Zechariah 5. Because this guy don't know. This guy isn't studied. This nigga said Assyria represents a righteous Arab world. Nigga, ain't no goddamn Arabs righteous. The righteousness is with the laws of God. The Arabs are allowed to rape and pillage women and take people's wives and all that type of stuff. We weren't raping people like in the Bible. We weren't raping people when we conquered them. I'm sorry. And they allowed to eat shellfish and all type of garbage over there in Islam. What's wrong with this guy? And their prophet married a 6-year-old, and they do it all the time over there in the Arab world. So how are they righteous? What's wrong with this guy? This nigga's stupid as hell. So Zechariah 5. I really don't want to read it all, but it is a short chapter. It's only 11 verses, so I guess I'll break it down just briefly. Like I said, we're getting off topic a little bit. But the idiot said, this dumbass busy sheep, you're going to be busy in the shadow realm. And like I said, that's his third try. He didn't type nothing crazy too much, but he said it righteous as the Arabs. Like, bro, come on, bro. Like, the Syrians weren't Arabs either. Like, what's wrong with this dude? Like, how does it represent the Arabs? Like, bro, it's stupid. It doesn't even say that in the bro. Anyways, all right. Let me just read this. Then I turned and lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof is 10 cubits. Then said he unto me, This is a curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it. I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name, and it shall remain in the midst of the house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof. So talking about the nation of Israel, esoterically breaking the laws of God. Then the angel that talked with me went forth and said unto me, Lift now thine eyes and see what is that goeth forth. And I said, What is it? And he said, This is an ephah that goeth forth. And he said, Moreover, this is the resemblance through all the earth. Talking about basically a glass jar. And he said, This is wickedness. And he cast it into the midst of the ephah and cast the weight of the lead upon the mouth of thereof. So basically, esoterically, he's talking about the Israelites being cast into the jar, being in captivity, and having a lead plate over top so we can't get out the ephah. So basically, us being judged by the Most High. You know what I mean? It's very basic, but that's not the topic. I'm going to get to the bottom where it references the parallel with Isaiah 19, talking about how, quote unquote, the Egyptians and the Assyrians are going to be an altar to the Lord in Egypt. But it's talking about spiritually, obviously. Then I lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, there came out 2 women, and the wind was in their wings, and they had wings like the wings of a stork, and they lifted up the ephah between the earth and the heaven. Then said I to the angel that talked with me, Whether do these bear the ephah? Whether do these bear the ephah? Like, what are these birds doing? You know, showcasing ephah. And obviously, the birds are the Edomites, Jewish man, European, British man, whatever the case may be. And Chief has a video on this. It's from years ago, obviously, but the breakdown hasn't changed. But let me read the last verse. The last verse is what is referencing in reference to Isaiah 19, or the parallel, like I said, in reference to the breakdown. And he said unto me, to build it in the house in the land of Shinar, and it shall be established and set there upon her own base. Now let's go to another translation, actually, because this is going to break down a lot better in the other translation. Now, we just read in Isaiah 19, they're going to build an altar to the house of the Lord in Egypt. Now we know in Revelation, 12 or 11, And we know Egypt is synonymous with bondage, so that's what is represented Isaiah 19. And the altar obviously is representing what? Something you sacrifice on. So it's talking about the Israelites, so more likely the elected 1/3, sacrificing themselves spiritually, mentally, like I said, renewing your mind, how you're supposed to repent, things like that. And we're being the temple of God. That's what we are. We are the temple of God, the people. So when you read it in different translation, and we know America is Babylon as well. And like I said, when you get to Micah 5, Assyria is referencing America in our particular breakdown. So he replied, this is Zechariah 5:11 in NLT. He replied said, so let me read 10. Where are they taking the basket? So that's how you know it's talking about the white man, the two birds. He replied, to the land of Babylonia, where they will build a temple for the basket. And when the temple is ready, they will set the basket there on its pedestal. You get it? So the Israelites are going to be taken to Mystery Babylon, America, and they're going to build a temple, a spiritual temple, which is us, our as a nation, the elected 1/3, being spiritually cleansed in that reference, and representing the temple of God, the body of Christ, obviously. And they'll be, and when the temple is ready, like I said, when the elect get sealed, they will set the basket there on its pedestal. They're going to be raised up and taken out of that place while this Babylon gets destroyed. It's not talking about no goddamn Arab. What the, bro? Man, dude, this pissed me off, bro. Let me go back to Isaiah 19 real quick and just tie it all together, just briefly, why this idiot listens and learns. Stop coming on my channel. What was I at? 20. Yeah, 21, I believe. That's where I started at. Let me go over to the KJV, actually. Matter of fact, let me read what the NLT says. Yeah, the NLT is still fine. Matter of fact, let me start at the top and read it in NLT. Isaiah 19 and 18. In that day, 5 of Egypt's cities will follow the Lord of heaven's armies. They will even begin to speak Hebrew, the language of Canaan, which is what we're doing. The Lashawan Kudash people have a problem with. Whatever. It's still Proto-Canaanite, whatever you want to call it. That's what we're starting to speak. That's what we're starting to speak. It's not talking about no Arab, no righteous Arabs, madness. It's not talking about no real Egyptians. Egyptians don't speak Hebrew. Sorry. One of the cities will be Heliopolis. I don't know why it says that. I don't like that translation. But anyways, in that day, there will be an altar to the Lord in the heart of Egypt, and there will be a monument to the Lord at his border. Talking about, like I said, this is the context of Zechariah 5. Spiritually, it will be a sign and a witness that the Lord of heaven's armies is worshiped in the land of Egypt. How are we going to be worshiping the Most High? Keeping the laws of God. Being the spiritual temple in America is very, very simple. No, we're not building. We're not building, busy sheep. You got to go. You're not building with nobody. You're here to listen. You've already said enough. So it will be a sign of witness that the Lord of heaven's armies is worshiping the land of Egypt. When the people cry to the Lord for help against those who oppress them, we know Egypt is getting oppressed. They're getting billions of dollars through the Suez Canal right now. He will send them a savior who will rescue them. That's talking about us. You know what I mean? In America. The Lord will make himself known to the Egyptians, talking about the Israelites. Yes, they will know the Lord and will give their sacrifices and offerings to him. They will make a vow to the Lord and will keep it. This is talking about the Israelites, mainly the elected 1/3, the people that are going to escape this place, Lord willing. You know what I mean? The Lord will strike Egypt, and then he will bring healing for the Egyptians. For the Egyptians will turn to the Lord, and he will listen to their pleas and heal them. We know this isn't talking about no real Egyptians. And if people want to say it is, they have to prove it, or if this happened already. Because they say it happened already, they definitely got to prove it, and that'd be ridiculous. And where the Egyptians started speaking Hebrew, like that's ridiculous. In that day, Egypt and Assyria will be connected by a highway. The Egyptians and Assyrians will move freely between their lands, and they will both worship God And this is a reference to northern and southern kingdom. Like I said, we're both in captivity in Egypt. Northern kingdom went to Assyria. That's all it's referencing. The split of the nations coming together. And Israel will be their ally. The three will be together, and Israel will be a blessing to them. For the Lord of the heaven's armies will say, "Blessed be Egypt, my people. Blessed be Assyria, the land I have made. Blessed be Israel, my special possession." Is that simple enough? Like, did I break that down cool for y'all? Are y'all cool with that breakdown? Like I said, it's not deep. I mean, it kind of is deep because the idiot did say that it was the righteous Arabs. Like, bro, the Arabs aren't Assyrians, bro. Like, that's just the bottom line. Like, it doesn't make sense. But anyways, let's go back to the articles, or excuse me, the artifacts. That was I think that was a very clean breakdown. You know what I mean? Precept on precept, simple. You know what I mean? A lot of Christians don't like our breakdowns, but you know, it's just simple. You know what I mean? It's just simple. But let's get back to this. Where am I at? I guess we can move past the Lakeisha relief. Like I said, I still got a lot more to go. I'm gonna try to get to the main ones though. Did I go to the? Wait a minute. Is the Moabite stone on here? Or did I go there yet? Where am I at? Oh, right here, duh. I didn't go far enough. Misha Stele, better known as a Moabite stone. You know? This is a prominent artifact. Obviously not an Israelite origin. It's talking about the Israelites, obviously, but it's not from us per se. You know what I mean? So let's just read the description real quick. Actually, the name Misha Stele, like I said, Moabite stone, Moabite language, which is similar to the Proto-Canaanite, 850 BC. So after King David, after King Solomon, describes the victories of of Moabite King Mesha over the house of Omri, kingdom of Israel. It bears the earliest certain extra biblical reference to the Israelite god Yahweh. And if French scholar Andre Lemaire's reconstruction of the portion of line 31 is correct, the earliest mention of the house of David, only two known artifacts contain the Moabite dialect of Canaanite languages, which is obviously, like I said, similar to us, using the Proto-Canaanite or the Paleo-Hebrew. Like I said, they were all next to us, obviously. So we all spoke the same language: Edomites, Moabite, Ammonites, for the most part, and obviously the Canaanites. So let's go to the Tel Dan Stele. This is another one speaking about the house of David, and this was still around the same time frame, 800 BC. Like I said, these are all museums now, but I'm just going to read the significance of the artifact. And like I said, I'm going to actually go to something else after this because this is a long list of stuff, but I'm going to go to some things that they have more sort on this side of the earth as well. And then some things in the land of Israel, like I said, that proved that we were there as far as Maccabean time frame. What else I got pulled up? Things that are already prophesied, like I said, that discovered after the fact, things like that. So let me just read this and I'll continue on that. Let's see. Significant as an extra biblical corroboration of Israel's past, particularly in lines 8 and 9, which mention a king of Israel in the house of David. The latter is generally understood by scholars to refer to the ruling dynasty of Judah. Although the meaning of this phrase has been disputed by a small community of scholars, today is generally accepted as a reference to the Davidic dynasty. And that's obviously what we believe as well. Of course, white people debate over our things all the time. But we can care less. We appreciate them finding our stuff because that's what the Most High said would happen. The earth shall help the woman in Revelation. And it's helping us. The woman is Israel. And like I said, we're pulling out the information, and it fits with the Bible. That's all. That's all we're here to do. I just want to get to where it actually just talks about the house of David, because the front article isn't necessarily that descriptive. See, the author of the description, this is the content, and all the way down. So it says, the author of the inscription mentions conflict with the kings of Israel and the house of David. The names of the two enemy. Yeah, can y'all hear that? There's always some ambulances going around out here in the Bay. It's crazy. The names of the two enemy kings are only partially legible. Biran and Nave reconstructed them as Joram, son of Ahab, king of Israel, and Uzziah, son of Joram, of the house of David. Scholars seem to be evenly divided on these identifications. It's dependent on a particular arrangement of fragments, and not all scholars agree on this, which is irrelevant to us. They found it. It talks about the Israelites. The Israelites existed, and that's all we care about. So I'm gonna stop sharing this. What am I gonna go to next? Let's go. Oh, that's talking about the Quran. We can go to the Quran next week if that's what's on the spirit. I don't want to just say that right now. But what is this? Oh, no, that's not it. What am I doing? What the hell? Where's the article at? That's not what I want either. Oh, here it is. This is what I want. Let me share my screen. You're damn right, Joshua. It proves we existed. Our ancestors, not no damn devils, though. You know what I mean? And this is what I found, I think, a year ago or so. Can I close this or is it a glitch? What the hell? Are y'all seeing this nonsense? What the hell? My computer tweaking. Oh wow, it just got out of there. All right, let me go back. Hold on. Here we go. Underwater fortress found. Ancient fort linked to bloody biblical battles found off coast of Israel. Let's see what this says. Now, like I said, I found it, I think, last year, 2 years ago. And this is an official website, ancientorigins.net. You know what I mean? Underwater archaeology later. Underwater archaeology is helping to transform our knowledge of the ancient world. In Israel, maritime archaeologists have discovered a 2,200-year-old Hellenistic fortress linked to biblical battles. This discovery is helping us to understand Hellenistic military fortifications and strategies and the impact of rising sea levels on ancient communities. I don't know why I have all these ads. Like, I don't want to see this. But anyways, the find was made at Tel Dor, which overlooks the eastern Mediterranean at the southern Levantine coastline of Israel. As the researchers wrote in the Journal of Maritime Archaeology, it is now known as the beach of Kibbutz Nashalom and is due south of the bustling city of Haifa. There is a natural harbor there, and that means that it was excellent for the anchorage of ships. Tordo is a site that has revealed evidence of Phoenician, Hebrew, Roman, and Byzantine occupation, and it has a long and often bloody history. Obviously, we know that we got conquered by the damn Romans. And Phoenician and Hebrew is a similar language. You know, the Phoenicians were north of us after we conquered them, but they were still around. No thanks. Professor Asaf Yisrael Landau and Ehud Arkin Shalev from Haifa University, these are Jewish people, teamed up with the American professor Thomas Levi of the University of California to investigate the bay for archaeological remains. Marine archaeology is very challenging and requires the removal of tons of sand from a location. To make matters worse, the sea sands regularly shift, and this can be very frustrating for archaeologists. We don't care. Dig up our stuff, devil. But, you know, this is a picture of it. Matter of fact, let me pull up a picture of the city, actually. Tel Dor. Let's go here to the map. I just want to show you that on the map real quick. I'm going to share this first for a second. In comparison to where Israel's at. So let me share this real quick. Yeah, the Phoenicians are Canaanites. See, this is Jerusalem down here. And you know where all the shit's going on right now. Gaza, way down here. But this is Tel Dor in comparison to the land. Way up here. Like I said, Jerusalem's, even though this ain't real Jerusalem either way, but we know it's Israel still, you know what I mean? It is the land of Israel. And Tel Dor's all the way up here. Like I said, Haifa. And obviously Canaan was, like I said, north of us up here. If you look at an ancient map. But Tel Dor is right off the coastline. You know, right here. Okay, that was weird. Anyways, y'all get it. Let's go back. Where was I at? Oh, the article for this, yes. All right. Like I said, this is a picture of what they discovered. Let me read. Continue. Some months back, the team came across 3 stones that had once formed part of a small wall. Haaretz quotes, which is the Israeli paper, Professor Yisrael Landau, stating that when we started excavating, we saw that these 3 stones were actually standing on a huge amount of neatly hewn stones. You know, They knew that they had found something momentous, and using historical sources and previous examples, they estimated that it was some sort of fortress from the Hellenistic period. It was dated to approximately 20 years ago, based on artifacts found and the documentary evidence. So, obviously, the Hellenistic period was when the Greeks came, and obviously when the Romans took over. So, 20 years ago, I guess you can say that's about right. You know what I mean? Um, I'm not gonna play that video, but this is what they also found down here. You know what I mean? Right up the coastline, a former fortress for the Israelites. According, oops, according to Haaretz, the fortification is about 20 meters from the shore and 2 meters underwater. Once it was 2 stories high, but much of the upper story is lost, and the structure measures 60 by 120 feet. Some stones have wooden post holes that may have been used for wooden platforms upon which catapults were placed. And like I said, this is the actual site picture. A bloody time. We know much about the turbulent history of Teldor from the book of Maccabees. Ooh wee. In the Bible. It appears that the fortress was built by a Hellenistic king when the Greeks and the Jewish Hasmonean kingdom were battling for control of what is now Israel. It was built by the Greek monarch Diotis Typhon, who acted as regent for a young king of the Seleucid dynasty before declaring himself ruler. Their fortress was built to protect his stronghold at Teldor. He was one of 3 rulers who vied with each other in the area, and this resulted in many bloody wars. The rival monarchs were the Seleucid king Diodotus Tryphon and Demetrius and Jonathan Aphis, ruler of Judea, according to the Haaretz. These battles are found in the Bible and portray Diodotus Tryphon as a cruel and treacherous ruler. Of course he was. He's the devil. This is a king, or excuse me, a coin of the king. Look at that nose. That's how you know it's a devil. Looking like a young Donald Trump. You know what I mean? But where am I at? Here we go. A coin depicting Typhon. They made his own coin, ugly ass. Anyways, Tryphon was eventually besieged at Teldor by a new Seleucid king. Some missiles believed to be slingshots and arrowheads have been found that date back to the siege of Dor, and some bear the marking victory over Tryphon, according to Haaretz. Antiochus VII, Cities eventually seized the fortress in that port. Tryphon escaped, but ultimately committed suicide in 138 BC. Wow, that's interesting. All praise to the Most High, though, you know. Learning from the underwater Hellenistic fortress. Much of the fortress built by the Hellenistic monarch has been found along the coast. However, the walls found in the bay are transforming what we know about Hellenistic fortresses. It seems that the wall and fortifications found by the maritime archaeologists were part of the first line of defense on the south side of the city, and the walls on the shore were part of their inner defenses. The area between the inner and outer walls would have been a kill zone where attackers would have been easy targets for soldiers on the walls. Teldor was occupied by the Seleucids and the Romans, but the fortress did not stand long because of storms and rising sea levels. By the 1st century AD, much of the fortress was underneath the waves of the bay. So the point is, this is proof that during the Hellenistic period, those devils built this particular fortress per se to protect against other devils. They fight against each other, whatever. But it's still the land of Israel. It's our people that were there that were still fighting against them as well. Maccabees, you know what I mean? So I think that's it on this. Yeah, that's about it. I want to show y'all another article. And I know y'all have seen this already if you've been following the channel for a while. Y'all seen this? Put a one in the chat if y'all seen this. This guy. Put a one in the chat. I guess somebody remembers it, so let's keep moving. All right. Azusa Pacific University, 2019. Now, obviously, they found this in Israel, Northern Kingdom. Let's read it. Christianity Today ranked the sculpted head discovered at Azusa Pacific University's dig site, Tel Abel Beth Makkah in Israel, as a top 10 biblical archaeology discovery for 2018, ranked at number 2, artifact that likely depicts an ancient king, captured worldwide interest from scholars and the public alike. In May 2018, it went on display at the Israel Museum in Jerusalem. Now we know this only like a damn white person. I don't know why they would want to portray this, but it's all good. We appreciate the fine devils. Given that the head was found in a city that sat on the border of 3 different ancient kingdoms, we do not know whether it depicts the likes of King Ahab of Israel, King Hazazel of Damascus, or King Ethelbald of Tyre. This ain't no man. This is crazy. How they gonna say it's a Canaanite? Yeah, right. Aram of Damascus? No. Yeah, they try to play a game on this. This ain't the article because the other articles say this is an Israelite king. Matter of fact, let me find that for y'all. Now that I'm seeing what they say in this nonsense article. Excuse me. I'm gonna look up. Here we go. Which one's better? Let's go back to the ancient origins. I think we went there earlier. Let's go here. Y'all haven't seen it? Well, we brought this out a couple years ago. It's all good. Y'all seeing it now through the spirit. Please don't do this again. Jeez. Oh shoot. Okay. This ain't lagging. Damn. Like I said, this is June 2018. So like I said, I think we brought this out a couple years ago. Does 2,800-year-old statue of King Head depict the forgotten biblical king? That's the question. Now, we would say, of course, because of where they found it. Archaeologists are in the midst of a mystery of forgotten identity. They are trying to discover the name behind a 2,800-year-old face found in the ancient city of Abel Beth Makkah in northern Israel. So, like I said, they're trying to say it's a Canaanite or what did they say? Whatever they said. People that weren't Israelites, but we know it was found in northern Israel. Like, why would it be a king from two other kingdoms? It doesn't make sense. Anyways, they are perplexed by the head of the statue, which may have been made to portray the likeness of a biblical king. Of course, it was. The northern kingdom was into idolatry. The head is small. 2 by 2 inches artifact, which archaeologists believe once belonged to a statuette which measured approximately. Oh yeah, this thing tweaking. I don't know why it's doing this right now. I ain't never did this before. Pages unresponsive. Really? My Wi-Fi is 100%. What the hell? That made no sense. Let me close some of these tabs. That might be it. Close some of these tabs. Salakia. All right, let me go back. See if that's working. Because it was lagging for a little bit. Let's keep reading. Matter of fact, let's find out where this site is actually. Because I don't think I ever looked this up. Real quick. Yeah, my computer was lagging for a second. I don't know why, like I said, but the work gonna happen regardless. And we're gonna end in like another 10 minutes actually. I don't want to keep y'all too long. I already been on for 2 hours, so I'm gonna go to like one more page of artifacts and then go from there. All right. Is that it? Tell Abel Beth Mecca. Oh, wait, here it is. Okay, let me share my screen on this. On the map. See, this is where they found it at, according to this particular map. So it says Tyree's right here and Zidon's right here. So that's why they're trying to make it say, oh, it could have been Canaanites. But as you well know, this is still within the borders of Israel, clearly by this border that they've made up. But Tyree Zidon is way over here. Zidon. You know, they're not there anymore, but, you know, Israel's right here. This is where they found it at, Northern Kingdom of Israel. You know what I mean? But let's go back real quick. Now, they ain't creeping in my window. I got something for them. They come in my house. Don't worry about it. Let's go down. Look at this devil. You see that? Oh, my God. Cheesy ass dude. Anyways. Matter of fact, I'm done with this one. I don't want to see that devil's face. But anyways, this is the last one I'm going to show y'all. Where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? Oh, here it is. The top 10. Let me go up. The top 10 archaeological discoveries in Israel. Wow. Now, obviously, that's a devil right there. Let's just get straight to the point. Dead Sea Scrolls, Barkaba letters. Obviously, those are letters. We know about those. These are part of Dead Sea Scrolls, but like I said, those are just manuscripts that were found 1948, 1947, but were written 1,000 years earlier. You know what I mean? So that's not the point of this particular show. We want to show the archaeology, even though manuscripts are part of archaeology. I really don't want to get in depth about that. What? Matlin Cave. I don't know what the hell that is. We're talking about the Israelites here, sir. shall collect what? Whatever this is. The tail dance to LA has we already went over. The devil that Philistia and Palestine. This is the devil that did that. That was his claim to fame, supposedly. The Venus figurine, 250, man, please. 250,000 years ago. Dude done lost his damn mind. The priestly blessing amulet. So this is a Kenneth Hinnom scrolls, which is a prominent one. You know what I mean? Where this is actually part of the law in here. Matter of fact, let me pull it up on another one because this isn't the best one. Now that I'm thinking about it. Kenneth Hinnom scrolls. I'm gonna pull it up in the Wikipedia actually in a second. We can read this real quick though. It's all good. That's what it's formally known as, but it's saying the priestly blessing because, like I said, it is about the law. 7th century BC, the 1979 archaeologists gave up Barkai was excavating a hill on which the Heritage Center had been erected in Jerusalem above the valley known in Hebrew as Ben Hinnom, and known in English as Gehenna, which I don't agree with, but whatever. He found a burial cave dating to the First Temple era with hundreds of pottery vessels and 120 items made of silver. Among them were 2 small amulets about the size of a cigarette butt. They turned out to be teeny rolled up silver scrolls, which is what you see here. The archaeologists spent 3 years trying to figure out how to unroll the silver without destroying the artifacts. And when they achieved that, they discovered ancient Hebrew writing text known from the Book of Numbers with slight changes. One contained the priestly blessing, the oldest biblical verse ever found, predating the Dead Sea Scrolls by centuries, which obviously the Dead Sea Scrolls, like I said, were found 1948, but they were credited to 1000 AD, you know what I mean? After we were scattered and they were writing the scrolls over and over and over. Like I said, that's all scribes did at one point in time. All they did was write scrolls everywhere, you know what I mean? Where am I at? One containing priestly blessing, that's what I read. The Lord bless thee and keep thee. The Lord make his face to shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. The Lord lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace, it reads. The tiny silver scrolls would quite surely have been worn as amulets 2,700 years ago, and whatever else they achieved, they have caused us to rethink the sources of biblical texts. So that's what they found. But let me stop there. Matter of fact, let me keep going here, then I'll show you on the Wikipedia about the Kenneth Hinnom scrolls. Excuse me. The ossuary of Jesus' brother. We'll skip that. That's ridiculous. Seals and belay from the First Temple era. Excuse me. What is this? It don't even show nothing. That's weird. Anyways. The 9,000 kneeling to mass. No. Yeah, they don't have any pictures of the actual information. But let's do. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. Wikipedia. That's what I was going to do. Salakia. Yeah, here we go. Kenneth Hinnom scrolls. The oldest surviving text currently known as Hebrew Bible, dated 600 BC. So other people say 7th century, 6th century. This says 650 to 587. So clearly this is the Levites writing this. Because like I said, the timeline of the Bible, the Southern Kingdom wasn't in captivity at this time, but they were in a siege by the Assyrians, like we just read earlier. Numbers 6, 24 to 26. That's what it says the priestly blessing is. It didn't say that on the other article. That's why I wanted to come here. The scrolls were dated paleographically to the late 7th century, early 6th century BC, placing them in the First Temple period, which is obviously what we know. And like I said, this is the earliest quote unquote manuscript that proves that we were obviously writing. Even though there's other things that I found. Matter of fact, let me look that up real quick before I show y'all, just to be sure. And because I did find this a long time ago. Excuse me. Now, this is actually the oldest writing that I've seen. Whether this is from us, we can decipher. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is from the Israelites. SICARII. Let me show y'all because this is cold. You know what I mean? I don't know why people don't bring this out more. Not people, but you know, if you're in archaeology, the Gezer calendar. You know what I mean? This is powerful. The Gezer calendar. Let's read this because this is powerful. The Giza calendar is a small limestone tablet with an early Canaanite inscription discovered in 1908 by Irish archaeologists. Whatever. I just want to get to the point. 20 miles west, city of Gezer, 20 miles west of Jerusalem. It is commonly dated to the 10th century BCE. So this is actually the oldest Hebrew artifact with writings on it, obviously. But let's get to what it says. Because it's 1000 BC. So after we left Egypt, and this is around King David's time frame when he lived, you know what I mean? That century between the 10th century BC, 9th century BC, between King David and King Solomon. Because we know Solomon lived closer to 900 BC, but this is around King David. And obviously the Moabite stone is 850, like they said, or 900 BC. So not too long before or after, before that. Scholars are divided as to whether the language is Phoenician or Hebrew, which is the same, or whether the script is Phoenician or Proto-Canaanite, Paleo-Hebrew. It's the same. So it's the same thing. But anyways, the inscription is not a formal calendar as it describes agricultural seasons with imprecise dates rather than precise divisions of time as would be required for a ritual or bureaucratic calendar. As such, some of the time units comprise 2 months rather than one, and none are referred to by the month of numbers or name known from other sources. So, a closer look at it. This is it. Kind of like a stone somebody was writing on, and we can recognize some of these characters. The Shah, the Ha, you know what I mean? But let's go back. Can I go back? Oh, yeah, here we go. I'm gonna show you what they read. So obviously the Assyrian Block Hebrew, that's what's in the blue letter, obviously. This is the Paleo Hebrew. So they did the equivalent in both languages, which is still Hebrew, both Hebrew. And then obviously written down in quote unquote English per se. This is what it's been translated to. 2 months gathering, 2 months planting, 2 months late sowing, 1 month cutting, 1 month reaping barley, 1 month reaping and measuring grain, 2 months pruning, 1 month summer fruit. So why would the Canaanites be doing this when they weren't even here? Obviously, they weren't tilling the land. This is us doing this. Scholars have speculated the calendar could be schoolboys' memory exercise, the text of a popular folk song, or a children's song. Another possibility is something designed for the collection of taxes from farmers. That doesn't make sense, but whatever. The scribe of the calendar is probably a BAJA, whose name means Yah. The shortened form of the Tetragrammaton is my father. This name appears in the Bible for several individuals, including a king of Judah, If accurate, then it would be an early attestation of the name Yahweh, predating the Mishnah Stele by more than a century, though Amenhotep III inscriptions of the Temple of Celeb in the 14th century BC is even older. Because we know, matter of fact, now that I said that, I'm going to show you this. Because this is actually something that's common that the Israelites should know, as far as what we were called in while we were in Egypt. We weren't called Israelites by them per se. We were called the Shashu. The Shashu, from Egyptian pronounced whatever that is, or Semitic speaking Paxor nomads in the southern Levant, which is where we were, from the late Bronze Age to the early Iron Age of the third intermediate period of Egypt. Excuse me. They were tent dwellers, organized in clans, ruled by a tribal chieftain, and were described as brigands active from the Jezreel Valley to Ashkelon and the Sinai. Some of them also worked as mercenaries for Asiatic and Egyptian armies. Some scholars link the Israelites and Yahweh with the Shashu, which is what we do as well. You know? I wanted to get to, here it is. Two Egyptian texts, one dated to the period of Amenhotep III, 14th century BC, which is like I said, when we were there. The other to the age of Ramses III, 13th century, which is like I said, when we were around the time of the Exodus for the most part, 1200, 1300, 1200 BC. The land of the Shashu of Yahweh. You know, this is the Egyptians beating on the Shashu, our people. So it's all here. It is all here. You know, that's pretty much all I wanted to bring out, but there's a lot more. I didn't get to the American artifacts or the Southern American artifacts or the Puerto Rican artifacts. You know what I mean? It's just so much. And I got a whole bunch of books, like I said, I haven't brought out yet, but since I'm sick, I'm not looking too hot. I'm not gonna show anything as of today. But that's pretty much all I want to go into right now. I'm gonna give y'all 4 minutes to ask questions if necessary. Then we're gonna close out. You know? So y'all can ask questions before I get up out of here. Appreciate those who stayed. You know what I mean? I just started this Sunday live 3 weeks ago. It's the third week. And like I said, hopefully we get more viewers, more and more. Subscribe, like the channel, like the videos, support the ministry, wake up to this truth. All praise to the Most High, you know what I mean? So Shalom, Tanya. When did the original Arabs start mixing with what? When did the original Arabs started mixing for them to become more lighter skin? I don't know the history on that. Now we know they started conquesting around what, 700 AD, 800 AD. So were those the actual dark-skinned Arabs at that time? We can't say. We know for a fact they were all through North Africa. They forced converted a lot of Jews that was in North Africa. Mansa Musa obviously was a Muslim, but he was an Israelite. And like I said, there's plenty of history on that aspect. But as far as knowing when they were dark-skinned Arabs and light-skinned Arabs, I can't tell you. That's not the history that I'm familiar with. I'm not gonna guesstimate and things like that. But we know Islam started in 600 AD. They started conquesting 700, 800, 900 AD. So it's lucky for not being able to have a direct answer for your question. Throw out to Joshua and Shalom Aryeh. You know what I mean? We're gonna close out in 1 minute. You know? Come, Brian Guzman. Shalom, brother. Like I said, we're gonna close out. Give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh. We do so by Shem Mashiach Yahweh side. Until next Sunday, Shalom. Like, share, subscribe. SICARII San Francisco. If you want to donate to the Cash App, SICARII SF. And like I said, like, share the videos when you see them. Comment when you see them. Like I said, we have a lot of good content coming out, especially the Catholic brother we just talked to last night. It's a 4-hour dialogue. I'm going to break that up for y'all to make some good content, stretch it out a little bit. And I definitely got still more videos to come moving forward. So appreciate y'all support. You know, endure this truth, endure the times. Like I said, a lot of things are happening at once. The prophecies are unfolding as we speak. But the main thing is, you know, staying on this walk, staying on this marathon course. And like I said, having faith in the Most High and the Son Yahushua. So keeping the laws, keep the faith, represent this right thing to the fullest. Teach your children, teach your spouse, teach your family, whether they take it and heed to it or not. Your job is to build this nation one way or another, especially if you're hitting the streets, you know what I mean? You got to do something to build up your nation if you believe this walk, believe this truth, and believe in the Most High. So yeah, we out, you know. I'm going to talk to y'all next week. Shalom.